Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Slappin Kpop podcast. I am Kayla, and today I am here with Sammi.
Hello.
And today we are once again commandeering Dan's show First Contact for a Halloween special.
It's our show now.
It's our show, essentially. This is just our show now. It's happened twice in a row, so I think now that means it's ours.
Now we can keep it.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely how it works.
Possession is 9/10 of the law, or whatever the hell that phrase is.
Yeah. So this is our Halloween special, about VIXX, because when we were thinking about what are we gonna do for a Halloween special, it was like, well, the first thing I think about in K-pop is just VIXX, because that just seems appropriate. So
yeah, we have an actual Halloween video coming out on Halloween.
Yes.
And a lot of that is just VIXX.
A lot of it is VIXX, because VIXX is just the group you think of when you think of, like, I don't know, costumes or Halloween concepts.
They do it so well.
They're so good at it. It just works so well.
Mm-hmm. And they've sort of made a name for it by just doing that.
Yep.
So VIXX, unlike the last episode we did, we can go through individual members.
We can, because there's only 6 of them, thankfully.
Yep. So they're under Jellyfish Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 6 members. So we're going to go through them.
Debuted in 2012.
Yep.
So, to start off with the members, the first member is N, who is the leader, main dancer, lead vocal, and center of the group. So N does a lot of acting and variety shows. He does a lot of acting and a lot of variety.
I've seen him act.
He
was in
I've briefly seen him act because he was in Tunnel, but he is not in that show for a long period of time.
True. I saw him in Sassy Go-Go, which was also called Cheer Up, depending on where you watched it.
Oh, yeah.
He was good in that. He played, he's actually surprisingly really, really good in that. Like, that also had Eunji from A-Pink, so that was a fun idol show. It was actually really good. Like, it was actually really compelling, and he did very well in that show.
Yeah, and as the member of the group, they also just send to, like, all the variety shows. He was kind of in charge of that.
He's got a good variety personality.
He does. He was in the very iconic group Big Byung as well, so I think that needs to be mentioned.
I mean, yes. It's amazing.
One of the most
is an iconic bop.
Stress Come On is, like, the most iconic song that exists.
I mean, Hyuk was also
in there.
We have to give him a little credit.
Mm-hmm. Hyuk was also in that group. So En was also trained in contemporary dancing, so he has had a pretty large role in a lot of VIXX choreographies, where it's essentially kind of like a style he has now, where it's like you can tell if En has had a lot of input on the choreography, because he has like a certain style to the way he likes to choreograph.
You know, I like his dancing. He's also often a staple of, like, remember back when they used to do those, like, end of the year, we're gonna get all the dancers
there is that one contemporary
like a
one.
single stage?
Yeah, it was him and Jimin.
One that was, like, him, Jimin, I think
Mina
from Twice,
Momo, Chang Zhao, and I think, like, Yeon of Lovelies were all in it or something like that.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of, where, like, they will just do that kind of stuff, and N is often in those.
Yes.
With his contemporary skills, and they're all those are great.
Mm-hmm.
I miss those.
I know, those are fun. Those are a fun time. Because VIXX is also a relatively older group. They debuted in 2012, which is pretty old at this point in K-pop.
So
he has already...
They're the old men.
They are old men. He's completed military service already. He's the only member of the group who is out of the military so far.
It was very recently that he came out.
Yeah, he came out really recently.
Yeah, it was, like, really recently, so, like, yay for him. Hopefully he'll do something soon. I want him to do something solo.
I think he is the only member of VIXX who hasn't debuted solo yet, so I think that's, like, in the cards. It's, like, time for him to release solo music, which I could see happening easily.
I want it now.
Yeah. This is a good time for him to do that, so... Hopefully.
This is a very good time for him to debut solo.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to do the next one?
Yeah, we can just alternate.
Cool. So up next is Leo, who's the main vocalist. He composes some of VIXX's songs, does a lot of musical acting.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of musical theater.
He's got
I think
he's got a voice
well.
for musical theater, like a really good voice for that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He debuted solo in 2018. His album was pretty good. Like it's very vocal heavy, but his vocals are really good.
Mm-hmm. Leo is one of my favorite K-pop vocals. He's very good.
Mm-hmm. And he also is in VIXX LR, the VIXX subunit.
Yes. Where
he's the L in LR.
He is the L in LR. He's also the vocal of that group because Ravi is not the vocal of the group.
Ravi's not a vocal, period.
Yeah.
And he enlisted in December of last year, so it'll be a while before he comes back.
He's got like another full year left until he's out, yeah.
Yep.
So next we have Ken. Ken is also the main vocalist. Also does a lot of musical acting. Ken and Leo are both like power vocals, and so I think both of them gravitating towards like musical acting makes a lot of sense for them. Ken also does a lot of OST songs. He's got like a ballady voice, so that makes a lot of sense that he would do that. He made his solo debut in 2020, so this year. It was a very ballad heavy album, which is what I kind of would have expected of him anyway.
We're not the biggest fan of ballads.
Mm-hmm.
So like objectively it's good, but in terms of our taste it's not.
Yeah. I'm not a big ballad person, but he is a really good singer and I mean can pull off ballads well. So if you're into ballads, his album would be very good to listen to. Because it's like entirely ballads. He also enlisted this year, not that long ago, so he's got like another 2 years before he's out of the military.
Yeah. So next is Hyuk. He is the main dancer, vocal, and maknae of the group. He debuted solo with a single in 2019. It was a self-composed solo too, so he's also getting into the music composition. I mean, VIXX has a lot of their own between composing and them doing a lot of their own choreo. They do have a large role in the production of some of their songs.
Because VIXX isn't a group that you first think of being like a self-producing group, but when you look at their discography, like one of their members has at least some role in producing a lot of their songs. So,
yeah. And he does some acting as well. And he has yet to enlist because he's a baby. He's
the maknae. He's a 95 line, so he still has quite a few years before he has to enlist.
Yeah, he's got a few years before he has to, but the thing with a group like VIXX at this point, you often think of like, would it be better if they just went in a very short amount of time?
Yeah,
but
because the age difference between N and Hyuk is kind of large. Because
it's 95 is Hyuk, and then N is 1990, so it's 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Which, in terms of like military enlistment, Hyuk waiting as long as possible to enlist is just gonna make sure that VIXX doesn't release music for like 6 years.
For years.
Yeah.
For years.
Also, with Hyuk's acting, Hyuk has done more, I think, movie acting than anything else, which is a little bit odd for idols.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily watch a lot of Korean movies.
Yeah. He has also won. He's also won. I think I'm pretty sure he's gotten like acting awards for that too. So he's like pretty good.
He's a good actor. I just can't speak to it because I have yet to see anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Korean like movies because they're just harder to access. So I can't really say.
Get a hand of.
Yes. So next we have Ravi, who is no longer in Jellyfish Entertainment, but still technically a member of VIXX. Sure. A lot of groups have done that. I feel like if Ravi is actually in like all these situations where members have left the company but are still technically in the group, I think Ravi is one of the most likely people to actually still promote with VIXX because he runs his own company. He's not under someone else. So Ravi can just kind of decide to do whatever he wants because it's his company. So.
Yes. But also the fact of, like, he, at least in terms of what really confused us, because usually when the people say that they've left the company but not left the group, it means that they've left both and they just don't want to say it. Mm-hmm. But, like, he was also on Road to Kingdom, essentially. Yeah,
assisting very.
Very.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know what's happening.
He was also in a song with VIXX, Parallel, I think.
Yes.
He was in that after he officially left Jellyfish, too. So he has gone back and actually done stuff with them since officially
with the group,
leaving.
But who knows what it means for the long term.
Mm-hmm. Ravi is now actually, as of pretty recently, like a couple weeks ago, the idol with the most copyrighted songs, which is shocking because
a lot.
That's so many songs. But I was looking through all of the songs he has credits for. He releases
most of them are B-sides.
He has a lot of
most
VIXX
of them are
B-sides. Yes. He has a couple of random songs that other people have had. Like, he wrote one of the songs on Ken's solo album. Like, a couple of Guguran songs were from Ravi. There's an Elris song that Ravi has also written for some reason.
Which, again, if you think about Ravi and Elris, those are not two things that go together in my mind.
The thing that I think is really big is essentially every song on VIXX LR he's had a part in. Him and Leo, both really big on the self-production. So the two of them in that unit has essentially worked on every song VIXX LR has put out. Ravi has also released, like, a stupid amount of solo music.
A ridiculous amount
so much solo music.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't even really been, like, officially a solo for that long. But he's released, like, three full albums or something. It's, like... Or, like, he's released 4 mixtapes, like... 3 EPs and a full album. It's just like, dear God, like there's so much of it. But as I said before, he does own his own company now. It's spelled really weird. It's called like Groovin, but there's like a 1 in there somehow. I don't know how it's actually supposed to be pronounced, but that's the company that he owns, and he does have like a handful of other rappers that are under that company.
Also under that company.
It's all people he's worked with before.
He's like an actual company owner, which is shocking to me.
It's very weird, because it's like, it is a company, but there's also only like 4 people in this company, so...
Yeah. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small company. There's companies that have like 1 artist, so like...
Yeah.
There's K-pop companies that have 1 group, so like, that's not the weirdest one.
Mm-hmm. He's also not enlisted yet, but he is also one of the VIXX, I just remembered this, one of the VIXX cast members on 2 Days, One Night Season 4. So he's doing that too.
Yeah. And he'll have to enlist eventually, because he's also, like...
He is on the younger half of VIXX, but he will have to go soon, yeah.
But he will have to.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you know, his solo music is...
It's you have to have a particular taste to like it, because it's very loud and in your face, like, just rap.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So up next, we have Hangbin, lead rapper, vocalist, visual, and face of the group. So he is still in Jellyfish Entertainment, but he has left VIXX.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It's a lot.
That's a choice.
It stemmed from like a Twitch controversy, essentially, which is really barely a controversy.
True. So now he's decided to be a Twitch
streamer. Now he's a Twitch streamer, essentially.
Now he's a Twitch streamer. Yay. Yeah, there is a Twitch controversy, which I never, like, fully understood what was wrong with any of this.
No, there's nothing wrong with anything that he said, but people got upset because he criticized, like, some songs from certain groups that he's like, oh, I don't like this song. Essentially was all he said. Yeah. People got upset, and then he's out of VIXX.
Which in K-pop, you like everything.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that. For later this year. Oh boy.
Yes.
And he now is enlisted. He started he became a Twitch streamer and now has enlisted in the military maybe like a month or 2 ago at this point.
Yeah, it was like...
It wasn't that long ago.
It was very soon that the Twitch controversy happened, he left VIXX, then enlisted in the military. Like, there was like a 2-month span of time that this happened over.
Mm-hmm. And he also has done a bunch of acting. He was in Morum School, which we've both watched.
Yep, and you're going to want to remember that for later, because that's a topic we're going to talk about later.
You're going to want to remember that for
later in the month.
For our Also, if you guys hadn't listened to our NCT episode, we're gonna do a Asian drama November.
Yes.
So put a pin in that for Asian drama November.
We shall come back to it later.
We shall. And he is the final member of VIXX.
Which,
Yay.
no longer official member of VIXX, but was
No
a member
longer,
of VIXX.
Former member. Was a member of VIXX. Again, they really haven't had a comeback without him.
They haven't.
Still member of VIXX for until something else happens.
Which I don't think VIXX is making any new music for at least like another 5 years, so.
God, nope. At least until, like, between military service really puts, like, a damper on all of possible comeback.
It really
plans.
does.
Just, like, I don't know when it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not big enough, like, super, and by big, I mean size big.
Yeah.
Like, Super Junior, that, like, 2 people can be gone, and you're still like, well, no, this is still...
No, we're just gonna keep going, yeah.
We just keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so they were formed on a reality show called Idol.
Yep.
Stupid name.
It's one of the first, actually, K-pop
it's one of the
reality
first
shows that made a group, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, no, Idol was one of the first, I think.
Yeah, because after the Big Bang one, I can't think of anything, other groups who were that early that had a reality show like that.
One of these days, we need to talk about that Big Bang reality show, because that was...
It's something, that Big Bang show.
It was something.
There's only one other notable person who was on that show who was also an idol, because one of the members of Top Dog was randomly on that.
Put a pin in Top Dog. We'll come back to
Also, another thing we're gonna come back to at some point in the future.
Oh, Top Dog. Oh, no. Xeno T.
Xeno T. Now officially Xeno T, but formerly
Whatever
Top Dog.
Xeno T is.
Mm-hmm. So their debut song was Superhero, which it's a song.
It really is.
The hair also in that song is a lot.
Everything about that song is a lot.
It's like, you can imagine what K-pop was like in 2012. Like, that's essentially just what's happening there. It's just 2012, like, K-pop, weird styling, weird hair, like...
Yep. It's just a lot in every capacity.
Yep. So their fandom
name is Starlights.
Which I think is cute. It's one of my favorite fandom names. I like it a lot. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they do have VIXX has one subunit that we mentioned earlier. It's VIXX LR, which is Leo and Ravi, and they debuted in 2015 with Beautiful Liar, and they also have another song called Whisper. Or it's an EP, I think, but yes, they're a very good subunit. I like their music a lot. They're a good subunit.
I like them.
Mm-hmm.
And then their discography.
Yes.
So their most recent comeback was Scientist.
Yes.
Which was the last comeback before they all started enlisting. Mm-hmm. And they have a lot of title tracks.
I think this would be a good time to also get into just, like, the actual, like, just the amount of concepts that VIXX does and is able to pull off.
So, again, if you get Superhero and Rock Your Body are very, like, simple concepts. They're sort of, like, simple...
They're just your generic K-pop boy group songs that are happening in the early 2010s, yeah.
On and On is vampires.
Space vampires.
Space vampires. Hyde is Jekyll and Hyde. Mm-hmm. Great You is just a cute song.
Great You is...
Doll is...
Great and You, I think, is... So Great You is the... like, kind of half repackaged to Hyde, which is meant to be, like, the Jekyll and Hyde. Like, this is, like, we're going real dark, and Great You is, like, we're gonna go super cute. Yeah.
Yep. Voodoo Doll is Voodoo Dolls. Yes. Only You is a ballad. Error is...
Robots.
Error is Robot Love. Eternity is... How do you describe the
It's like, there's a lot of clocks happening in Eternity.
There's a lot of clocks.
And that's, like, the biggest thing I can think of. It's a love story, but there's also, like, a lot of clocks around.
There's just a lot of clocks happening. Love Equation is cute, and it's sort of a single. Mm-hmm. Chained Up is BDSM.
Yep.
You can't convince me otherwise.
It is. Dynamite that is just it.
That is it. Dynamite is,
So Dynamite Fantasy and
Dynamite
The Closer was the Greek mythology trilogy.
Mythology trilogy, which I think Dynamite is supposed to be.
So Dynamite was Zelos, which is like the jealousy god.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like that's sort of the theme, but you can kind of see it in the video.
Yeah.
Then Fantasy is.
That was Hades. Fantasy is like a dark, like, it's like very
but also
dark.
A lot of very dark, like also very physically, like just lighting.
Yes, like physically dark. Yeah, like they're in the woods at night,
and also dark,
and actually dark.
And some Jesus imagery a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. And then you have The Closer, which.
So The Closer was
also physically dark.
So yeah, Closer was Kratos, that's like the god of time or something.
Time.
It makes sense because the music videos, a lot of them just like freeze framed on like in a scene, which is like, pretty cool.
Ken is like walking around.
Yeah, and then like En's like falling off like getting pushed off a balcony.
We make these sound so bad, but they're amazing concepts.
They're so cool.
Very good. Then Shangri-La is like a
traditional
concept. And then Scentist is chemistry.
Perfume.
It's
chemistry.
Perfume making, but also just chemistry and snakes.
Yes. It's like sexy, like sexy chemistry.
Like sexy chemistry.
Yep.
They're sexy chemists.
Mm-hmm.
Sexy chemists in sexy suits.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I describe it.
It's so interesting when you look at their list of title tracks in order and just see the absolute pivots that happen from Hide like, to Great You to Voodoo Doll, and it's just like, wow.
To Ballad Only You, back to Error, back to Eternity.
Because Arrow and Eternity just sad. And then you go to Love Equation, and then you get BDSM, Chains Up. And it's like,
and then you go into the Greek trilogy.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. The concept is the reason I really got into VIXX because it's so different than anything else any other K-pop group is doing, where each of their comebacks is so, like, thematic and everything.
Mm-hmm. And, like, there's no other group. I mean, there's groups that do them for, like, a one-off concept. Like, they'll do a darker concept. But VIXX sort of made a name for themselves by doing it. Like, if you look at this, the darker concepts outnumber the light concepts.
Yeah.
Not by much, but they do outnumber them. And it's sort of like, those are always their more successful comebacks, and that's always usually their title track. Yeah. Because, like, Great You was a repackage, Love Equation was a single.
Was a single, yeah.
Hero and Superhero and Rock Your Body were both, like,
that was, like,
singles,
before VIXX, like, knew what VIXX was.
Yeah, that's, like, super debut era. And then, like, they sort of found themselves with these darker concepts that involve like character and that involve like it's such an in-depth concept.
Like there's a story happening in every single one of the VIXX like music videos, and it's not
like one of those like lore-based stories.
The Greek mythology thing has got a little bit of lore, but that's meant to be a trilogy and it ends at that trilogy, so that's
and they're
fine.
And also, you can enjoy it without it's not lore baiting where it's like, here's a 5-minute movie.
Because each of those songs are also so different from each other, too, that you can enjoy them separately.
Yes. Like, Dynamite's funky. Like, Fantasy is that darker, like, super melodramatic boy group.
Yeah.
And then The Closer it's melodramatic, but, like, slightly more...
The music video isn't as, like, dark as Fantasy or some of their other stuff is, but it is, I think it's a good song that, like, wraps up the trilogy, too. Voodoo Doll is, like, one of the first VIXX music videos I saw where Ed is just, like, stabbing a person in the music video.
And also, like, you just have this, like, they're just, like... There's, like, glass in all
of their
arms.
My god, there's the embedded glass into someone's arm is just, like, really, like, a lot.
It's just a lot. Alright, so, the highlight of B-sides, there's a few B-sides we want to highlight, which is Light Up the Darkness, Escape, Hot Enough, Love Me Do, Secret Night, and Blackout. All of which are, like, they're slightly more dramatic B-sides.
Yeah.
Because VIXX can do a dramatic B-side.
Mm-hmm. Also,
they're very mellowed.
Want to mention, VIXX, a very sexy group. And it's, I think, more
Very
evident
sexy.
in the B-sides than it is their title tracks. VIXX is a very sexy group.
Because the thing with the title tracks is that, like, a lot of these, like, other than, like, Shangri-La and Scentist, where I do think they go full sexy.
Yeah.
These horror concepts...
Like, you're not getting like, sexy horror. Like, that's not what they're doing.
Sexy horror.
Yeah.
Like, there is sexy horror, but this is not that. They go all out with the horror.
Yeah.
The B-sides, like, Love Me Do is
a lot. If
Hot
you just
Enough
want to
is a
look
lot.
at the titles of these B-sides, like Blackout, Hot Enough, like Secret Night, like you can just imagine what these songs are about.
Yeah.
And the fact that they have an entire album that has a BDSM concept, and that's just the thing that this group has done.
That comes, like, we both own the album. It comes with a full-on, like, BDSM contract.
Yeah.
In the album.
That's just a thing, like, that comes in the
freebies.
album.
Yep, you get a random one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
It's so much.
So, what was your first contact with VIXX?
So, VIXX was the second K-pop group I ever got into, and I got into them purely through Infinite, which is funny. So, when I was first into Infinite, I was essentially looking for any type of Infinite content that existed on the internet, and one of the things I came across was when Sungyu was hosting an episode of Weekly Idol that VIXX happened to be on. And this was when VIXX was doing their Chained Out promotions. And the fact that I was watching that mostly for Sungyu was just kind of the fact. But when they were doing Random Play Dance, I was like, oh, their songs are, like, really cool. And also the fact that they were doing a BDSM concept for a whole album was kind of interesting. And I was very intrigued by that. And also, that's just a really fun episode of Weekly Idol, because it's the only one where, like, Leo isn't just painfully like, please get me out of here now.
Yeah, no, Leo in a lot of these variety shows does painfully want to look like he's left.
Yeah.
Also, I just remembered, speaking of things that Leo would never do.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably know VIXX as the group that did
So Hot cover is so good.
That So Hot cover. Because a lot of people will say So Hot cover, this So Hot cover is good, because So Hot has become a big song to cover recently.
Yeah.
And in every sort of discussion about it, someone will bring up the VIXX cover.
Because it is iconic.
And it is the best cover
It is
of
the
that
best
song.
cover of that song.
It's the best one.
It's amazing. Everything about it is amazing.
Leo was not there because I think Leo was
Leo purposely
injured.
like threw himself down a flight of stairs. He purposely threw himself down some stairs to not do that.
Leo was like, hell no, I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Leo, like, purposely was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I've broken my, oh no.
But
I can't. I've sprained my ankle.
How unfortunate.
Oh well, I can't.
But on this...
How depressing. I guess I'll sit this one out.
Yeah. On this Weekly Idol episode that Sungyu is hosting that VIXX is on is also pretty good because Sungyu is apparently friends with Leo, and so he's a little bit more comfortable on the show because of that, and they're just, like, a little bit more relaxed than Leo, or, like, mostly Leo is than usually they are on Weekly Idol, because their early Weekly Idol stuff is very hard and painful to watch because Leo is just like, please get me out of here now.
Yeah, no, a lot of the Weekly Idol stuff can be very hard to watch depending on who is there and who is hosting and the idols and sort of the position of the idols.
Yeah. Because, like, N is very good at the bantering aspect of, like, variety shows because he's had more experience and is very good at that. But, like, you throw Leo on something by himself, Leo, like, doesn't know what to do.
No. And, like, a lot of it depends on, like, it's not just Weekly Idol, it's a bunch of other shows, too. It's just that Weekly Idol is the show that has the most international viewership, and, like, old Weekly Idol is gold.
Old Weekly Idol, yeah. This was in, like, the peak of Weekly Idol, so. Sammy, what was your first contact?
So my first contact was I had seen Great U, which it was a double-edged sort of, like, I saw Great U in like 2015, which it didn't come out in 2015. It's just the first song I happened to watch, and I thought that was the cutest thing I'd ever seen.
I love it.
That video is really, really cute.
I love that music video.
It's actually sort of filmed in reverse. So they film it in reverse, and it's just played forward, so everything looks like it's going backwards, which is really fun. And then I got recommended Voodoo Doll. And the thing with me is I am also a big fan of horror films. I find horror films to be very fun. I like them a lot. And I just saw, like, Voodoo Doll, what's this? And it blew my fucking mind. Because when you first get into K-pop, you don't expect it to have this kind of, like, it's cute. Like, the stereotype of K-pop is cute girls, cute boys, cute dances.
And Voodoo Doll is still, I think, the
Voodoo
most
Doll and you're like,
horror concept a group has ever done.
Yes. The most pure horror, pure horror, like, there's K-pop songs that have, like, horror implications, but, like, more just flat-out horror shown to you on screen. Voodoo Doll is unparalleled.
Yeah. It is.
And I loved
pretty
every second
iconic,
of it. It's
yeah.
so good. It's amazing. So, like, and then going back and forth between Voodoo Doll and Great U, that was a fun back and forth. So, what was the knee slapping moment?
So, considering
we have the same knee slapping.
We do have the same knee slapping moment, which is chained up.
Because, like, I liked Voodoo Doll, and then the first comeback I'm actually, like, invested in is a freaking. They come out with suits, no shirts, and fucking collars.
It's just like, it's a lot. It's
like, I'm sorry, that's just BDSM concept. They're chained up.
It is. Like, that is just what it is. And
I also love when K-pop was so, like, flagrant with the concepts. Like, no K-pop group would do that now.
No, absolutely not. So this was the first VIXX song that I heard, and I loved it, and I was pretty in on VIXX just from hearing that, but then after seeing all of their past songs, and then I was really taken in by a lot of the horror stuff they were doing too, because I thought that was really cool. But I just loved how diverse all their concepts were. It was very cool for a group, because it's like, this was really the second K-pop group I'd gotten into, and Infinite's nothing like that with the concepts, so I thought that was very cool.
Oh, no. I don't know Infinite's BDSM concept. You're more into it. Can you tell me which one that is? Alright, and why should you stan VIXX? Here's the thing.
So, VIXX is kind of a dead group right now.
VIXX is not going to do anything for the next couple years. So if you want to, if they're a very easy group, like if you want to get into a group that you can kind of casually get into on your own pace, go back and buy all of their old discography with enough time, and you're not sitting here like trying to get everything now. Get into VIXX. They're not going to do anything. There's
only 6 of them, so there's not like a lot of members you have to learn, and they all do a lot of solo stuff too. So that's like, it's pretty easy to learn numbers.
You'll be fine.
The bad idea is they're probably not releasing music for at least like another 4 years.
No,
if that, not. If even when they're all out of the military, there's a chance they don't release any songs ever again.
Yeah, there's a chance that because the thing with boy groups after they go into the military, and like people will tell you, oh, they'll make a comeback. Oh, they're gonna be like Super Junior and TVXQ. I'm like, sure. I've also seen groups that'll go into the military and you never hear from them again. Like, it's really depends. When military service is sort of like, that's the turning point for boy groups. You have to like hope and pray that they come back afterwards.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you're okay with the fact that there's a possibility they're not releasing music for a very long time or ever again, their concepts are really cool.
Get into VIXX.
There is not any other group there's not any other group right now that is doing what VIXX has done, and it's very unique and it's very cool.
Yes, and I love everything that they're doing. Like, all these concepts are so, like, I'm sorry, no other K-pop group has done space vampires.
Space vampires?
It's just not a thing that, like, and that is what On and On is, people.
It is.
On and On is space vampires.
It's 100% space vampires.
It is space vampires.
No
one has done Robot Love, where they are the robots.
Yes.
Like, Error is just Robot Love. Like, it is what it says on the label. Space vampires and robot love. Mm-hmm. And these are well thought out concepts, and they look expensive. They're well done. They're really
well done too. I think that's another thing where it's like, it's not like they're just having these concepts and that's the main gimmick. Everything about it is well done. Like, songs are good, production is good, like, it's just very well produced as well. Yes. I think that's everything for VIXX.
Our short episode on VIXX.
Yay.
So happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
I know Halloween this year is going to be weird, but...
It will be weird,
happy
but
Halloween.
Here have some VIXX horror concepts for...
Yeah, if you have nothing to do with Halloween, if you have nothing else to do on Halloween, just put up a playlist
Watch
of VIXX
some
videos.
VIXX music videos.
Have a good time.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
If you enjoy horror things, you'll enjoy VIXX music videos, so it seems appropriate.
Yes, you will. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, I hate doing this outro so much. There's so much stuff involved with it.
Can we record one outro?
I know, I just need to clip one of these outros at some day. Just put it at the end of everything. So, if you are listening to us on YouTube, we are also on all of the basic podcasting platforms, and if you're listening to us on one of those, we also have a YouTube channel where we post a lot of extra fun clip videos and clip compilations. Coming out soon will be our Halloween K-pop song compilation, so that's fun. Also, I guess we had mentioned it before, but we will be doing an Asian drama in November, so all of our episodes in November will be Asian drama related. So we're taking a little bit of a K-pop break.
K-pop episode for a while.
Until December, but December will essentially be all K-pop content, because there's a lot of stuff we gotta do in December.
Oh, yep. Spoiler alert, we're gonna have a lot of best of the year, we're gonna have a lot of...
Worst of the year.
Not best of... Yeah, do we want to play it now? Well, we're doing a best and a worst of the year.
Yep.
In November.
December.
So that'll be fun. December.
Yep.
I don't know what month it is anymore, Kayla. Help me.
It's 2020 time is a whole other thing. It's fine.
There is no time.
Who knows? The concept of time is just gone. But yes, as well, we have a Twitter where if you want to know when our episodes come out, that's a good place to know, because we tweet about when all of our new episodes and videos come out. And we also have a K-pop collection Instagram, which is sort of a shared collective, all of our K-pop collections together. So yes. And I think
so. That was our episode on VIXX. We'll see you next week for drama episodes.
Yes.
Yay.
Woo. Bye.
Bye.